So right now the weather is pretty decent. It's about 50 degrees outside right now. The sun is shining, not a lot of clouds in the sky, pretty calm, not much wind at all. But later we're going to be expecting quite a bit. Winds up to 65 miles per hour. Some winds could be as high as 80. They're expecting a lot of damage, power outages, trucks flipped over, all that stuff. And then there's supposed to be some freezing rain, which is just going to make everything worse with super high winds, high profile vehicles, and a lot of wind, or a lot of ice. That's going to cause a lot of people to be sliding out and flipping over, hitting each other, all sorts of stuff. So got the essentials, a couple of McChickens, and a drink. And I just left the car wash, and a clean car is not only beneficial to look good, but for the lighting and the reflective tape and everything else is a lot more effective when it doesn't have a whole layer of salt and dirt to get through. So it's not just a matter of trying to look good, but it's also a matter of safety to have a clean vehicle. Just leaving AutoZone now. I'm a little overdue for an oil change, so I figure I've got a little bit of time before the bad weather actually comes down hard, and I might be making a long trip down to Rochester later, so instead of putting it off any longer, I'm just gonna change the oil now, be done with it, and take care of this car that works just as hard as I do. Since I have a front hitch on this thing, I have this nice bar that I can jack up all the way along the bottom. A nice secure point where I know it's not going to slip off or have any issues. Jacks fail. Jacks are lifting devices, not supporting devices. So I'd be a hypocrite if I wasn't using a jack stand, since my entire job is safety. So we're just going to let this jack down a little bit, and we're going to observe that the jack can actually support the vehicle if this were to come down. So now that I'm good, I'm going to actually raise the jack a little bit just to have basically an additional jack stand, but now we know we're safe to crawl under it. So I don't feel any more threads. Ooh, barely made the bucket, but I made it. And on this vehicle, the oil filter's right here, straight out. So that's super nice to be able to get at it. I just got off smudge. It is starting to drizzle. Some places the rain is actually coming down. And I just got off the phone with somebody who said there is fog rolling down the street where they're at. So I'm just gonna start heading down that direction and seeing if I can find some fog. Got splotches of cloud cover, splotches of rain, sporadically coming down in different spots. I-94 and 57th Avenue North, North Minneapolis, there's currently a vehicle on fire. So I'll see about getting that traffic camera video later. I am currently not in that immediate area. Quite a bit of fog.
Quarter-inch drive breaker bar. And I thought, alright, there's probably a bunch of little dipshit sockets and whatnot, right? So for $3 I got that. And this fucking snap-on. So even if it fucks up.
The fog down here is pretty insane. It's pretty thick in a lot of spots and splotchy in others, but I have just been dispatched to a spare tire, or a flat tire. They don't have the tools to get it down and they need help changing it, so I'm gonna zip over there and get that done for them. It's an F-150, it's mounted underneath the bed, and a lot of times people just don't have the tools for some reason. They get moved and never put back into place, I don't know. But I'm gonna go change that tire out and keep cruising around until I get my next one. I don't know if you guys can see it, but the car ahead of me that's now merging to the right has the back end smashed in. and the bumper's hanging off. If you see emergency vehicles, get over, give them a clear buffer lane. This is the new 35 to 94 East bridge, or 94 West bridge, that took them absolutely forever to build. At least it has a nice view of the city skyline, but I can only foresee this having problems. It's an elevated surface. It is a curve that goes up and down, and when harsh weather hits, I can only see this getting clogged. It only takes one car to completely shut down this lane. So this tire that I did take off here, looks like somebody slashed the other one in a few places with a knife. Interesting story behind that, but yeah. Unfortunately, that last tire, it was sitting underneath the truck for so long, there was so much dirt and rust in the bead, it just would not fucking seal at all. It's really patchy where it's coming down. Sometimes it'll rain super hard for like 2 minutes and then just completely quit. But it definitely is soaking everything. Okay, now it's going to come down hard again for a couple minutes. So I was just driving by this CVS over here, and Mikey Mike calls me.
How's it going, guys?
I haven't seen him in forever, and he's like, "Hey, I just saw you drive by." And so I'm like, "All right, well, I don't care what you're doing. I'm coming and turning around to pick you up." So that's what we're doing. All right, so I just gave him a ride home. He was leaving work, so talked to Mikey Mike for a little bit, and now I am on my way to help somebody else that called. Not a service call through the company, just somebody needs help with a little something, so I'm gonna zip over there, help them out quick, and then continue doing whatever. But if you notice, it is not raining anymore, or at least not right here.
As I stand here in my pajamas.
Yeah. You can't get all the action, right?
No, always seems to happen this way. Every when I'm working.
That's a good thing for everybody else, though.
Yes, yes. So yeah, I was hearing about it there, and I looked afterwards. So.
Well, then hopefully it was totally vacant and nobody.
When I first heard the first few, I was thinking it might have been like lightning strike at some point, but the storm seems to be real.
So that was a house fire. Talked to a firefighter there for a little bit, and they were saying that they think somebody went in there, ripped out a bunch of copper, and then purposely lit the basement on fire. So case of arson. Doesn't really sound like anybody got hurt. It was kind of cool talking to him. He explained to me how they roll up and who's assigned to what, and how they figure all that out. So now I have a better understanding of how the fire department works. So it is 11:15-ish, still waiting for it to freeze. And once it does, I will be extremely busy. They said the wind was going to start at 9 though.
It's pretty windy out here.
Super Trooper just rolled by. This car is only going a few blocks. Not a huge deal. I don't know what's wrong with it, frankly, I don't care, but they wanted a tow, so we're moving it. See all these giant puddles? All of this standing water is gonna freeze. It's dropping pretty quick. Not even 20 minutes ago, it was about 50, now it's 38. This car hit a tree. There's still pieces of bark and everything from the tree on it. This truck has a work light out, and there's something funky going on with the left turn signal, or the right turn signal, so we're gonna go down to the car wash quick and just use that indoor space to figure it out and get it fixed quick. It is now 2:18 in the morning, and the temperature has dropped to 34 degrees. It was 55 earlier, technically yesterday. Now it's dropped to 34 and dropping. The wind has really started to pick up. That right there is the old police station. It's still got the cement barriers around it. That's the one that was burned down in the riots, and it has not been, nothing's been done with it since. It's 3:11 a.m. These guys are out salting. This is actually the best place to be. You want to be behind these guys because they're clearing the road for you. But I got somewhere I'm going.
A new investigation, this by the U.S. Labor Department, that over claims they retaliated against an employee. Reports say a former Apple engineer says she lost.
Well, there was a trash can from that gas station over there that was actually blown in the highway here. So I just picked it up and dragged it back to the gas station, put it where it goes. Alright, so I got a few hours of sleep. It snowed a little bit in the early hours, not a whole lot to really count for anything. It's down to 19, so it is freezing, but I've done a few things already this morning, and now I'm on my way to find an Infiniti. So I'm gonna go see if I can spot it and get my trucks over there, and we're gonna go repo it if it's sitting there. But it's getting filmed.
a bit.
Yeah, dude went straight down. Dude ripped off his own door handle in the struggle, but we still got the car. That truck actually hit a snowbank so hard it busted off the caliper. The piston cup is hanging inside there. It's got a whole lot of ridiculous damage. Even though I did a lot that I couldn't film or show for various reasons, it was still a lot less eventful than I thought it would be. This guy seems to be having an issue. Looks like he was checking his straps, maybe something came loose. That storm was super hyped up for pretty much nothing. It didn't freeze like it was supposed to. The temperature didn't drop as hard as it was supposed to. It's 19 right now, which is below freezing, but all the water's already run off and the roads are dry. So, a little bit of flurries this morning, not really much of anything though. So I guess for now I'm just gonna go home and wait until somebody calls, because nothing else to do.